may we request that you open your video and put yourself on mute while the speakers are speaking. Later, after the talk of our speaker, we will have a short Q&A portion. You may type your question on the chat box, or you may raise your hand using the raise hand button. Then unmute yourself once you are acknowledged. We will record the Zoom session tonight and post the recording on our official YouTube. Thank you.
Everyone, we're all here at the consulate, and I see we already have a lot of people online, and we're about to start in a few minutes. I'd like to say hello to Miss Reese. Hi, Miss Reese. Thank you. Welcome to the ladies' night at the consulate. We're about to start in a few minutes. So all of us, everyone, let's wave. Say hello to everyone. Thank you all for joining us. Hello, everyone. Hi. Can you hear me? Can you give me a thumbs up if you can hear me virtually or using your hands? Can you hear me, everyone? Ayan, ayan. Okay, screen is okay. You can also see me. Yes? Okay, wonderful. All right, so I think most of you already know me here, but let me introduce myself once again. I am Vice Consul Elaine Larwan Hernandez, the Gender and Development focal point here at the Consulate General in Shannon. So welcome to the second edition of our Ladies' Night here at the Consulate. Second, I say, because we had the first one last year, also during Women's Month. And we actually were privileged to listen to the stories of Teacher Terry, Ms. Liz, and Christine. I think they're joining us in Zoom here, as they share their stories on how they try to cope with the pandemic. So for our second edition of the Ladies' Night, and in the spirit of looking forward, we have invited a speaker who will share her wonderful story on how she has tried to impact the lives of other women. We actually had two speakers in line for you this evening, but due to unfortunate events, she really wanted to meet all of you. But unfortunately, there was an emergency, so we will have Ms. Reese tonight only. Okay, so before we begin, may I repeat the reminders that we earlier mentioned. First, please mute your microphones while the speakers are giving their talk. Second, we encourage you to open your videos, which I see now, so we can see all of your lovely faces. And third, there will be a Q&A portion at the end of the talk of Ms. Reese, so we encourage you to either type your questions in the chat box or virtually raise your hand later when you have a question. All right, so for the benefit of Ms. Reese, our speaker, the ladies you see on your screen right now, Ms. Reese, are mostly based here in Xiamen, the southern part of China. And I think, I'm not sure though, but I think we also have some ladies tuned in from Jiangxi province. That's the other jurisdiction of the Philippine Consulate General here in Xiamen. And of course, you see the beautiful women and men of the Philippine Consulate General. Okay, ayan, okay. Magaganda at guapo in their Women's Month sweaters. So this event is very special because it's the first time we're actually holding an online event. So I personally am a bit nervous, crossing my fingers that all the tech will go well. We actually hope to see all of you ladies here at the consulate. We prepared a feast for you here of Mark's Restaurant. Unfortunately, because of the event here in Shannon, we had to resort to this online event. Nevertheless, we are very happy to see all of you here this evening. And it's actually quite a strange situation we are in right now, where we meet other people virtually before we see them face to face, as is the case with our speaker. But technology also has its benefits, because we would not be able to listen to Ms. Reese, and we would not have been able to push through with our event had it not been for technology. And for that, we are actually quite grateful. So before we proceed with our program, may I call on our alternate Gender and Development focal point, Mr. Alberay Mateo, for an opening prayer.
Good afternoon. Let us pray. In the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Everlasting Father, thank you for the lives of all the mothers, sisters, wives, and every woman who is here tonight. Thank you for making them special among all of your creations. Continue to make them channels of your blessings and extensions of your unconditional love. Always fill them with your peace, surround them with your encouragement, shield them with your protection, and wrap around them your wisdom. Bless tonight's celebration, Ladies' Night at the Consulate. Bless everyone who are here and our families. In Jesus' mighty name, this we pray.
All right, thank you very much, Ray, for that heartfelt prayer. And before I ask Consul General Oblena to give her opening remarks, I think I need to introduce her first for the benefit of our speaker and those who haven't met her yet. Okay, so Consul General Maria Antonina Mendoza Oblena, who joined us here at the Consulate General in Xiamen last November 2021, is not just a diplomat, but also a lawyer, a published author, and a musician. CG Oblena finished 2 Bachelor of Music degrees in music education and piano at the Conservatory of Music of the University of Santo Tomas and her law degree at the Ateneo Law School. She is married to Sir Dino M. Oblena, a fellow Foreign Service officer and currently assigned as Minister and Consul General to the Philippine Embassy in Beijing, China. May we now call on our beautiful Consul General, Maria Antonina Mendoza Oblena, to give her opening remarks.
Thank you so much, Elaine, for your very, very kind words. The Philippine Consulate General in Xiamen is fortunate to be led by strong, powerful, intelligent, talented, and beautiful Filipino women. Well, like myself. Vice Consul Elaine, who is very efficiently leading this Ladies' Night, which we are all enjoying. We have behind me our administrative officer, Miss Angie. Say hi, Miss Angie. And I'll just go around. Bibian Lea, who's our visa officer. Say hello. Our property officer is Miss Marcy. And then right behind me in the purple beret is, say hi, Faith, is Faith Panas Bautista. And beside her is, I can see our collecting officer, Jo. Who else? And the wife of our finance officer is Miss Maricel. And even our general utility girl, the very pretty Amy. Say ni hao, Amy. And who else is Ina? Oh, Ina is here beside me. She's our consular officer. And so you see, we, the women of the Philippine Consulate General, are wives, mothers, daughters, sisters, friends, and colleagues. We are fortunate enough to be thrust in our role as leaders and movers here in Xiamen, as we hope to make a difference in the lives of Filipino women and men here, as well as to promote the bilateral relations between the Philippines and China. As a group, indeed, we can truly say that women make change. And today, we honor all Filipino women living and working here in Xiamen and the rest of the provinces of Fujian and Jiangxi. We know that you live far away from home as teachers. I see a lot of teachers from MXIS. As entrepreneurs, I see Liz over there from Beso Grill. As performers, as executives and professionals, as students, I think our first registrants were students from Warsaw University. As mothers, as wives, in order to make our lives and the lives of our families, as well as our beloved country, the Philippines, better. We not only honor the women, but also the men in our lives who made this possible. Our fathers, brothers, husbands, sons, colleagues. Please note that all our male colleagues here at the consulate are here to support us, as well as our bosses in DFA have foresight to know how great and how important women are in their lives, and they allow us to reach our full potential. Today, we are excited to be together to celebrate National Women's Month. We were supposed to have more guests from outside to join us. And Miss Angie and Miss Marcy have been successful in making our Bulwagan look very pretty and cozy. And we really wish that you could be here to join us. We have flowers, we have wine, later we will have food. And it is truly a testament that we, the Filipino women, are not only strong and intelligent, but we are also beautiful and kind. However, of course, because of the pandemic, we were forced to limit our live audience to Consulate personnel. But we are still honored to have so many guests to join us online to celebrate this important event, as well as to learn something new from Ms. Rees, who has so generously allowed us to take her time to share with us her story. Although all the women with me right now here at the Consulate, as well as those who are joining us online, have already accomplished so much in our lives, there's still so much to do out there. Not all women are as fortunate as we are, and we should always look for opportunities to help raise and empower those who do not have the same privileges. For ourselves, every day we should strive even more to reach our full potential. For even if you have already accomplished much, there are still other challenges to conquer. So we, the Filipino women and men of the Consulate, would like to raise our glasses to honor the Filipino women here in the provinces of Fujian and Jiangxi, the whole of China, the Philippines, and the rest of the world. Mabuhay po tayong lahat, and happy National Women's Month.
Thank you very much, Cindy. Medyo naiyak ako doon. Thank you for your inspiring words. So I'm actually very, very excited with this evening. I met, although I have heard about Ms. Rees's company years and years ago, decades ago, but I have only recently met Ms. Rees and was inspired by her initial talk to invite her to come and share her story with us. So I am very sure that we are in for a treat this evening. And we are very, very thankful to you, Ms. Rees, for agreeing to spend this evening with us despite your busy schedule. So I will not take too much away from your talk. Let me just introduce our speaker briefly this evening. Ms. Rees Clarence A.C. Fernandez Ruiz, or Rees, is the president and co-founder of Intentionality Incorporated, or formerly known as Rags to Riches Incorporated. She's also a strategic finance consultant at Talino Labs, an award-winning global venture studio for inclusive fintech. She has a long list of achievements, and her work has been recognized worldwide. Most recently, she was appointed Globe Platinum Ambassador for the Own the Extraordinary campaign. She was also cited as one of the 40 social entrepreneurs to watch for in 2021 by Cause Artists, a company whose mission is to highlight innovations in ethical fashion and fair trade products, among others. She has spoken to world leaders at Harvard Business School, at the World Trade Organization Trade Dialogues in Geneva, Switzerland, at the World Economic Forum in Davos, at UNESCO in Paris, and many other places. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce to you the Women Empowerment Advocate, Ms. Rees Fernandez Ruiz. A round of applause. Maybe we can share the screen. Ms. Rees, may we ask you to unmute? There you go.
Me?
Yes, okay, wonderful.
Yes, you can hear me. Okay, because I'm
Yes.
using my Bluetooth. Okay, thank you so much. Sorry, I've been trying to unmute pero ayaw niya. But thank you for allowing me to unmute. Thank you so much for having me today. Thank you, Consul General, Ma'am Maria Antonina Mendoza Oblena, Vice Consul Elaine, all of you, tinry kong ma-memorize yung mga pangalan pero hindi ko sobrang marinig. So baka next time that I give a talk, I can like have all of your names para ma-memorize ko siya. But it's an honor to be with all of you today. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Reese Fernandez Ruiz, President and Founding Partner of Rags to Riches or R2R.
There she is.
She was
Naka-
muted. She was muted.
Just a minute, Miss Reese, you're on mute again.
Thank you. Yes. I have prepared some slides also if somebody can help put them up.
Okay, just a minute, please.
Sure, no problem. But yes, thank you so much for having me. Ayan na. I will just say next slide. Kasi our story is very visual, so I really wanted to talk to you about our story and our learnings with some pictures so that you can see where we came from and where we are now. So actually, R2R started 14 years ago already. So it feels like it's such a long time ago, but also it also feels like we just started because there's still so much to do. We started in Payatas. I'm wondering who among you here have been to Payatas or have heard of Payatas? Can I just get like a show of hands? Okay. There it is. Okay, so just a slide after that, please. So 14 years ago, R2R started in Payatas. This is Ate Marge. The slide below that is Ate Marge. Sige, kaya natin to. Technology will be on our side.
It's our first time as well.
That's okay. Parang gusto ko nga siyang galawin pero hindi ko siya magalaw. Yan. So just, I think it's view and then, okay. There you go. Okay, so next slide, please. There. Okay, so this is Ate Marge. She was a stay-at-home mother who used to weave foot rugs out of scrap fabric to earn extra income for her family. But because she did not have access to the market or to the raw materials, yung mga retaso or scrap fabric, she would rely on middlemen who would get bulk of the income and leave her with only 12 to 16 pesos per day for weaving around 10 rugs. So she was not only the only one affected by this unfair trade, but there are many more like her, multitasking, which we women understand so well. Next slide. Today, we passion house empowering community artisans who are more women from the Philippines. So for the past 14 years, we were able to provide artisans with fair and regular livelihood, as well as training for various aspects of their lives. Next slide, please. And we have reached different parts of the world and hopefully we'll get there also one day. We have gained loyal advocates throughout the years. Next. We have also collaborated with some of the most amazing fashion designers in the Philippines and beyond, such as Rahul Laurel, Amina Aranaz Alunan, and others. So the pictures in front of you are our collaborations naman with international designers. So the one on the left is a designer from Portugal, and the one on the right is with a designer from New Zealand. So hopefully we'll do more in more parts of the world. Next. Up and coming apparel designer, Cheska Federizon. So next slide. We had so-called all the ingredients and we had like great things going on even when there were challenges. So this is actually how our whole value chain, how our whole business looks like. We designed it with artisan empowerment in mind, but we also designed it with women empowerment in mind. We started with intentional and sustainable design, ensure that we source scrap or overstock fabric as much as possible, and work with community artisans all throughout our value chain in a way that supports them as artisans and mothers, because most of our artisans are mothers. So we were so excited actually to get things going, create more positive impact for artisans, and expand internationally. But then 2020 happened. And as we started R2R as a life and livelihood partner for artisans, we knew that our work is even going to be more challenging. So we had to make sure to keep our community safe while keeping livelihood going. Next slide, please. And so we let our purpose guide our pivot. So these were the things we did from the beginning of the lockdown that were guided by our values and culture. So this is the short version of the story of how our purpose or our why made every how and the what easier. So I'm sharing these because our main value is to really provide opportunities for artisans, especially women. So we let that guide us. Next. First, because we had to pause the bags we used to make because walang lakad yung mga tao, there was no need for bags for a while. We repurposed our sewing machines to make masks and essentials like clothes that you can take from lounging to Zoom conferencing like what we're having now. When we restarted naman making bags, we made ones that are so well designed and can be used in multiple ways. So we realized that those who can afford to purchase bags or other products just are looking for something that's more comfortable, flexible, and sustainably made. But we did all these because we know that our main purpose is not naman to make bags. Our main purpose is to create opportunities for women and to create opportunities for artisans. So whatever form that may take may adjust, but the purpose remains the same. Next slide. Another factor for our survival was our ability to immediately focus on online channels. Because we've been operating our online store for almost maybe a decade now, it wasn't very hard to pivot. It wasn't too drastic. So our online sales actually even increased by 30% last 2020 compared to 2019. And it also increased by 150% to 2021. And the trajectory is another 100 or 150% this year. So we even opened our North America online store last October 2020. So while the world was on pause and fashion as an industry was reeling and recalibrating, R2R was able to keep livelihood going. So this was again driven by our purpose of creating opportunities for artisans and doing so excellently and innovatively. So see, pag may hugot, when you have something that you care so much about, you will do what it takes to make it happen. So for us at our core, we are about women empowerment, artisan development. So maraming pwede mangyari sa mundo. So many things can happen in the world. But for as long as we keep our vision clear and we keep that survive. Next, please. We are able to effectively expand online and build our social media presence also because of our storytelling. And we are not the only ones who can tell great stories about what we do and why we do it. And this is also very important for all of us who represent our country in one way or another. We tell stories about our country. Because of our ability to share joyful, meaningful partnerships with global companies like IKEA, last 2019, we have been selected as the official sewing services provider of the biggest IKEA in the world. So today, you can find us there in the Philippines, though. So hopefully, some of you can visit one day on the third floor. So we can sew many things using IKEA fabric, and we also upcycle because that is so true to our nature. Next. And lastly, but arguably most importantly, we were able to survive and even thrive because of our team culture. Even prior to the pandemic, our culture is quite good. Because even our culture is intentionally inclusive. It is a culture where it's safe to give feedback to people. We treat each other with dignity and respect, and we communicate with intention. we were also very intentional about this culture. We made sure that we practice everything we say we believe in. So one of my commitments as a woman leader or as a leader is to make sure that we over communicate rather than not say anything at all. So during the height of crisis, the worst thing you can do is stay silent or not show up. So even when the conversations were hard, lahat naman ng worth it conversations are hard. We talk to our artisans, communicate with our advocates and team members very often. We even formed non-toxic group chats to make sure that we can reach each other. And I also made it clear to everyone that they can still approach me and reach me through any channel. So I strongly believe that leading by example is very important. I can't just tell people to work hard. I have to work hard too. I can't just tell people to be kind. I too have to show compassion and have empathy. When things are hard, it is more important to have leaders who do what they say, respect their people and purpose, enough to show up kahit mahirap. Actually, especially when it's hard. True leaders and inspire people to do better and be better. So whether it is a family, company, or country, true leaders make everything they touch better. So we're still here today because our team and culture, they're strong. And personally, when things get difficult, I always go back to my why to keep me going. Next, please. So we are still here because we are inspired and moved by our vision and supported by our strong culture and values. And everything starts with our why. So I'm going back to this picture that I showed you earlier. This is of Ate Marge. It was taken 10 years ago. Next slide. Pre-pandemic, she actually became one of our top performing store ambassadors. So, di ba yan na siya? But, next slide please. When the store had to close due to the pandemic, we transitioned her to become one of our virtual customer service associates. So she now knows how to navigate around all the apps that we use for us to sell online. So we're able to do all these transformations in our company and our approach because we are clear about why we are here in the first place. We are a life and livelihood partner for our artisans. So whatever happens, we'll pivot according to this purpose. And lastly, to all of us here, I hope we remember to empower women and to make our values guide our life. So let us make our decisions based on our values and purpose. So we're doing so much more than our jobs or our work. We are practicing our values and fulfilling our personal purpose through the big things as well as the small things. And every single thing contributes to a culture that inspires people to be better and do better. So when we say that we are for equality, that means lifting up those who are marginalized and have been disempowered for such a long time, not just through our words, but also through our actions. And I'm very happy to be part of this event that supports exactly that advocacy. So thank you so much once again, and it's an honor to be with all of you here today.
Oh, okay.
Hindi naman ako naputol, right? Kasi kanina pa ako nagsasalita, tapos wala pala kayong narinig.
Pwedeng thumbs up then to our virtual participants if you were able to hear what Ms. Reese shared. Ayan, okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Ms. Reese. I told you earlier.
Thank you so much as well.
Thank you, thank you. I know, actually, to those who are here at the consulate and our virtual guests, Ms. Reese actually has to go for another engagement, but she agreed to answer some of our questions before she leaves. So maybe we can have
Of
two or
course,
three.
thank you. May name tag pa ako for the other event.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Ms. Reese, for your time. So maybe we can open the floor for some questions from our virtual participants and our in-house participants. If you have any questions, if you don't want to speak, you can just, yun, ayun, meron na. May nakita akong naka-raise hand. Teacher Kelly, can you unmute, please? And then you can ask your question. Estrelita. Estrelita Bonifacio. Teacher Kelly.
Yes,
All right.
kailangan
There.
yun i-allow ng host there.
All right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good
Indeed, Ms.
afternoon.
Reese, we are so privileged to have you. And I am just inspired with what you said, that you people and serve as good examples. I really admit that on the, of course, in behalf of all of us here, we are so privileged to have you. Okay. Now my question is, oh, by the way, I'm a teacher here. I am in Changzhou. Okay. So
Wow.
I've been teaching for 31 years.
Wow.
Yes.
So since you
And
were 5 years old.
yes, you are 5 years. So I'm actually 52 years old, and yeah, teaching is my passion. That's why I'm still here. Praise
Kaya hindi
God. Okay.
halata.
Now my
Yeah.
question, Miss
Yes.
Reese, is about this.
Yes.
I am so positive that along the way there are many obstacles, challenges that you have experienced. Now, can you just cite one challenge or obstacle that you found it really so difficult to tackle, or to, to find solution, but then at the end, because I'm really interested with how you started, from rags to riches. I know it's not easy. It's not easy. So that's why I'm so so I wanted to know, how did you manage to solve it with the rest of your
Yes.
team, in
Mm-mm.
more simpler and more achievable way.
Yes. Thank you po,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Yes, sobrang challenges talaga. So there were many challenges along the way, but I'd say one of the most challenging of the challenges happened when we were starting. Our artisans kasi, they are, well, most of them are from Payatas. Now we have expanded beyond Payatas, but the spirit is the same. The artisans there have been promised so much for so long by different people, different organizations. When we the governments were already helping. That's our agenda. We wanted to really support the artisans. Because I think that's just like love,
Yeah.
'di ba? When you get hurt before, pag na broken hearted ka na, ang hirap magmahal ulit. So it was hard to love again. It's hard to trust again. So for our artisans, that's also what happened. When we came there and we told them that, we want to partner with you, we want to be there for a long time. So we had to build the trust in the community for about 4 years. Mga ganun katagal. And I was a fresh graduate then. So 4 years felt like forever. Kasi 'di ba pag bata ka, parang ang 1 year ang tagal-tagal. So
Mm,
for me
true.
parang wow, 4 years to get the trust of the community artisans. But what worked? What worked is communication. So we always showed up. We always went to the community. So even when we knew that it was going to be very heated, like the conversations will be heated, that we will be asked really hard questions, we were there anyway, because that's how you build trust. So we went there to the communities, we told them that we're there for them, but we also really didn't give up, even if they were almost pushing us away because they didn't trust us. Yung mga usap-usap nga around the neighborhood, people were saying, "Oh, ano lang yan, it's just like the others. Iiwan ka din." 'Di ba? Ganun naman yun eh.
Hugot.
But yeah, hugot talaga. So we had to prove that we're there for the long haul, and there wasn't any way to prove it than be there for the long haul. Diba? It never ends. You're in there talaga for the long haul. You'll build the trust for as long as you live.
Yes.
So ganun. Walang easy solution. Pero
Thank you. Thank you,
consistency.
and congratulations. Thank you.
Maraming salamat po. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Teacher Kelly. And thank you, Ms. Reese. Now I think I saw Teacher Terry naman raising her hand earlier. You can raise your question. Teacher Terry. Maria Teresa.
Okay, good afternoon. Good afternoon, our PCG family there in the office. Good afternoon po to everyone, to my co-teachers and fellow Filipinas. Beautiful Filipinas, good afternoon. I want to share with women, not only, of course, when it comes to our abilities, but I think the heart, for to love and to care, not only to our fellow Filipinas, and of course, for everyone. Teacher Telly asked a while ago about the challenges. So I think that's one of the best answers, like building the trust, right? And then my question also has to do with the challenges, but it's about the challenges maybe that you face, like for while you were trying to set up your enterprise. What were the challenges when it comes to logistics, bureaucracy, perception, something like that? It has to do more on the enterprise. How did you manage? And then you mentioned a while ago, you are already at that point that you have these people's heart for this project, and then all of a sudden COVID, COVID challenged everyone. So how was it also kind of um, difficult, and at the same time, how is it kind?
There. Okay, thank you. I can't unmute myself kasi the host needs to unmute me. So I'm sorry, I accidentally siya pang fashion. So it's like the market had a perception that if it's handicraft, if it's handmade, it's not usually of high quality and it should be very cheap, which doesn't make sense because handmade products cannot be cheap. It shouldn't be cheap because that means the artisan is not being paid well. So hindi nga yung customer yung nagbabayad, yung artisan yung nagbabayad. So for us, that didn't make sense, but at the same time, it was a perception that we had to address early on. So how did we address it? So we were very particular from the start. We were very particular about the quality of the products. Ayaw namin ng pity buy. So what is pity buy? It is something that you buy out of pity because you like the cost, but you don't like the product. It happens all the time, diba? And that's a good start. I think it's a good thing, but it's also not a sustainable thing. It's not something that you'll do every single day. So we avoided pity buy from the start. We said that the products of the artisans need to be very well designed so that the market will love them regardless of the story. And the story is a good bonus. It's something that they would love, but it's not the only reason for them to buy line. Kasi iba yung perception. So remember, our products use upcycled fabric and they look like the rugs that you usually see, right? The weaving that you usually see in the Philippines, in the streets pa nga sometimes. So in the beginning, when we were selling the woven products as fashion accessories, we had a lot of comments like, ay, mukhang basahan or it's very rough, ganyan. But then, we partnered with Rajo Laurel. So when we partner with Rajo Laurel, one of the top fashion designers in the Philippines, the perception also changed. And the designs also changed. But the perception talaga was the one that changed the most. So instead of people saying, ay, di ba ang rough niyan? They started saying, ay, ang avant-garde. O di ba? may branding na yung rough. It's avant-garde. So it's fascinating because you change mindsets. And changing mindsets takes a really long time. So for us, it took us a few years also to really establish ourselves as a fashion company. And now we are a fashion company, and that's the reason why we're able to provide sustainable livelihood. In the comment section, I read a while ago that TESDA, and not just TESDA, a lot of institutions provide trainings for livelihood, right? So our community artisans, they had trainings also. They know how to make candles, chorizo, longanisa, hot dog, everything. But without a market, the training of the livelihood remains a skill set that you cannot earn from. So sayang. So the market is so important, and the market needs consistency. So companies like R2R, our goal and our role is to link the artisans to the market every single time so that they can have regular livelihood.
All right. Thank you very much for that question and that comment. Thank you, Ms. Reese. I think
Thank you.
the comment earlier is from Miss Anna Diares. Sabi niya, if I remember when I was with the Philippines, TESDA had a project like this to
Yeah.
train, teach, and encourage our co-Filipinas, mostly homestay mom, making arts and crafts at home. So that was her comment.
Yeah.
All right, we have another question here from Consulate personnel, si Ms. Faye. How do you manage to ensure sustainability of supply and maintenance of good quality? Ms. Reese?
So, the good and the bad thing is that the supply doesn't stop because we just have so much waste. Fashion is an industry that generates so much waste. So even before production, you already waste a lot of textiles. So the textiles that artists that are R2R uses are from big fashion companies, and they are mostly pre-production waste. So what does this mean? For example, I'm a big fashion company. I order 500 yards of a specific color. But if I order 500 yards, maliit lang yung 500 yards. Ha? So that's just an example. 500 yards is my example, but I need a buffer. And the buffer is for emergencies or for damages, ganyan. So I'll put a 5% buffer. Now imagine the 500 yards is 500,000 yards. So gaano kadami ang 5%? Malaki yun. So, and all of those yards, most of the time, they don't get used anymore. And so they contribute to the mountains and mountains of textiles that end up in big factories and warehouses in the Philippines. So the one thing that we did, that went to the different stores in this high-end mall, and then the artisans started looking at the products like with their own eyes, and they're looking at the products. They're holding the products with their own hands, and that's how they realize quality and what it means and how it should look like. So kailangan ipakita, hindi lang sabihin. So instead of us just telling them, basta kailangan ng quality because we said so, what we did was we gave them the opportunity to look at the market and to see it for themselves. And then that is how we did our education program towards quality. But it also took a while.
Thank you very much, Ms. Reese. Actually, to the ladies here on screen and our consulate personnel, you can take a look at the products of Ms. Reese, or Ms. Reese's company. They actually look really, really nice. The first time when she gave her talk, ang first comment ko was, I want to buy, I want to buy those products because it's really high quality. I encourage you to take a look. So may follow-up din si Ms. Anna, sabi niya, we use Desco packages to create bags, and some famous brands adopted the products and sold in a high price. and all na pinagbilhan was given to the community. So yun yung comment ni Miss Anna. So I think Miss Reese has to attend her next event, and even if we don't want to, unfortunately, we have to let her go. We really want to thank you, Miss Reese, for taking time to share your story with us. On behalf of all of the ladies here in Shannon and here at the Philippine Consulate General, we wish you all the best in your future endeavors, and we hope to see you in person soon. Thank you very much for that wonderful talk. Another round of applause for Ms. Reese. Let Ms. Reese go. May I request to see all of your lovely faces? May I request everyone to open the video so we can take a picture? Ayan, parang kita namin ang inyong magandang mukha. Should we also start our Ayan. Wait lang ha, let's wait for the others to open their video so we can take a picture.
Open ka na Berina. Kasi hindi maganda may black.
Ayan. Sabihin mo lang na we're waiting. Ayan. Okay? Okay? Some are still ayaw nila. Alright. Alright. So can we see all those beautiful smiles? Can we have a smile? Then we will take a screenshot. Bilang ba ako? Yes, ma'am. Okay, let's go. 1, 2, 3. Smile. Ayaw. Ayaw mo smile.
Hindi pa nag-load ta.
Ayan, si Ana Tagadyang. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Okay, umalis na si, umalis na si Miss Reese. All right. Even if Miss Reese has left the meeting because she has to attend another event, maybe we can continue the discussion a bit. Maybe the others would still want to share, baka may gustong magkwento or magtanong, and then we will try to answer to the best of our ability.
Si Anna is raising her hand.
Si
Anna Diares.
all right. Anna. Okay, Miss Anna.
Hi, ma'am!
Hi.
Hi, good evening po sa inyo. Yan.
Ayun. Go ahead, Miss Anna.
So, do I need to introduce myself? Sige, siguro. Mapasensya na sa hair, medyo mahangin sa labas, tumatakbo ako eh. Ayan, so I'm Anna Diares. I am here in Jiangxi province in Fuzhou, which is in lockdown right now because of, the COVID problem. I'm teaching here. Pero hindi yung major ko sa Pilipinas. Kasi ma'am, sa Pilipinas, I graduated as with a Bachelor of Technical Teacher in Education. So ma'am, we focus on technical skills like arts and crafts, fashion design. Like yung na-mention ma'am na arts and craft, actually, it was started by TESDA before. After graduation, like yung mga classmate ko, they were sent to some small communities to train women or mothers to how to use sewing machine, and then ma'am tinitrain sila how to make arts and crafts. And I can still remember there's a community in Payatas. I went there and I taught them how to create bags from cesto packs, because one of the problem before is if you can still remember cesto, I'm not sure if meron pang cesto sa Pilipinas. If makikita mo, it's not biodegradable. So TESDA and our school try to recycle. So ma'am, ang nakita naming the best way is to make bags out of cesto packs. And then, if I can still remember, ang tagal na kasi ma'am, di ba? Parang dinosaur na ako eh. Nag-create sila ng mga handbags, shoulder bags, and then yung mga famous brands for sa Pilipinas, hindi ko lang matandaan ma'am eh, inadapt nila yung mga products namin and then ibinibenta nila in high price. But ma'am, I am so sad kasi 2006, 2007, nung umalis ako ng Pilipinas, parang ang TESDA is, nalungkot sila nung umalis ako ng Pilipinas, ma'am. Joke lang. Hindi na nila itinuloy yung program and then nag-less sila or parang tinanggal nila sa curriculum yung subject ko. Meron pa ring fashion technology sa Pilipinas pero hindi nila binigyan ng pansin. So sana ma'am, in case, kasi kagaya ako, hindi ako dapat nagtuturo ng science dito sa China, dapat nasa Pilipinas ako nagtuturo ako ng mga arts and crafts, sewing, fashion design sa Pilipinas. Nawalan kami ng chance na ma-explore yung subject namin or makapagturo sa mga kapwa namin Pilipino ba, parang ganun. Kaya ma'am, yung subject ko ngayon parang iilan-ilan na lang talaga ang nagtuturo. Nung umalis ako ng Pilipinas, hindi man ako nag-awol mama. After 3 years, inaantay pa rin ako ng TESDA Laguna at saka ng QCPU sa Novaliches. 3 years na ma'am, wala pa silang maipalit na teacher kasi ma'am parang naglaylo eh. Sana pagbalik namin sa Pilipinas, ituloy-tuloy yung program na ganun, 'di ba? Para hindi naman yung skill namin mag-stagnant dito sa China kasi parang nakakalimutan na ma'am, 'di ba? Yun lang ma'am, yun lang suggestion ko. Sana you can cooperate with TESDA para ma'am yung mga skilled workers natin like me, kahit paano natatandaan ko pa siya eh. Gawin namin ng Pilipinas, bigyan kami ng chance na
Hello, Miss Anna. I think naging
buksan uli yung program na gano'n. Para makapagtuloy nga mo na nangangailangan ng tulong. Yun lang, ma'am. Thank you.
Alright. Thank you. Thank you very much, Miss Anna. And nice to meet you. Hope to see you in Jiangxi soon. Ingat po kayo dyan. Actually, when I was a kid, I saw those products, yung Zesto bags na yun. And I might have purchased 1 or 2 in Baguio. I think I highly encourage that you connect with Ms. Reese. No? I think they have a very, very good network that can help provide this kind of art. Would CG want to?
Okay. Am I on? Okay. Thank you, Faith. I just want to say that I'm so very impressed with the quality and the design of the bags of the company of Reese. Like Elaine, I want to go and do online shopping right now. I believe all of you and do my online shopping because they're really beautiful. I would love to use them as well as to give them as gifts. I think they're a great testament to the industry and the creativeness of the Filipinos. I would love to give them as gifts here in Xiamen. It would help me. It would help me in my job in promoting the Philippines because it's really beautiful. So that's I'm also impressed with her vision. Even her PowerPoint is beautiful. She has a lot of buzzwords there that I like that I think we can apply here at the consulate, like pandemic proof. I'm really trying to use technology to improve the services here in our consulate. We have to move forward. The pandemic has affected our lives, yet we can't go back to what we were before. We have to move forward. We have to adjust. We have to use this pandemic to make our lives better. It should not be seen as a setback. it should be seen as an opportunity for everyone. Let's not think that this pandemic set us back because, you know, we're at home, nabawasan yung sweldo natin. I think it's an opportunity for change, and technology right now is at our fingertips, and we should be able to use it to move forward. We here at the consulate, we're trying slowly because technology is also a challenge here in China because there are so many restrictions. But then these challenges should not hinder us from moving forward, but instead it should challenge us. Right? Because if we can overcome this, like Greece did, she had so many challenges, especially from the start. All those wonderful women had so many heartaches, had so many. But that is where we get our power from all those heartaches, from all those setbacks, and that's how we move forward, I think. So, and I really, really admire everyone here, all the women behind me, as well as all the women out there. I know it's hard for all of you to be away from your families. We're all working here. We're all making do. We're all in China. We'd rather be in the Philippines. I love China. I love Xiamen. The weather is beautiful. The food is great. But of course, it's not easy. And I know that it's the same for all of you there. You're teaching. You're away from your kids. And Anna is in Jiangxi. Hi, Anna. I've met you. I don't know if you remember. Yes. Yeah, we did. And it's very hard. But I think it's also how we grow stronger, how we thrive, and we should be thankful that we have all these opportunities. And I'm really happy about this event. I hope that we have more of these, because I think sana nandito kayo kasi we have food there. We actually have food from heart. I don't know what's our food. And I'm drinking wine kanina pa ako umiinom. So I really hope that we could have an opportunity for a real ladies' night where you all will be here and we can talk about anything. We can have not only these serious stuff of, you know, helping our kababayan, bettering ourselves, but we can also have fun stuff, you know, like beauty, like health, like, I don't know, dancing, or whatever we women love. You know, it's nice to be together. So I hope that we can have that opportunity when things ease up, or even if things don't ease up, maybe we can still find ways. Elaine is very creative in finding ways. You really push through with this. Yeah, I'm blabbering now, so so we should go on to the next reactor. But I hope to see all of you again soon.
Thank you very much, ma'am. And so eloquently, actually, you mentioned, no, while CG was mentioning, ang daming nagpo-pop up na naman na ideas for us ladies. And like I mentioned, we always look forward to seeing all of you ladies. So hopefully we can really see each other in person. Talaga, we will have a proper ladies' night with our drinks and our stories. We look forward to that one. But maybe I can still open for those who still wish to give a comment. I don't know if a lot were you raising your hand earlier? A lot? Correct ba? Okay. Sorry. So before we close, maybe we can have one or two more if someone else wishes to give a comment, give a suggestion. Hi, Mayo. Okay. Si Teacher Terry. Kindly, there you go.
Okay. Thank you very much for this very wonderful opportunity that we can hear, you know, something that again will encourage us as women to be, you know, to be more productive, to be more creative. And I think to really support our Filipino women, especially siguro dun sa advocacy ng ating speaker a while ago, I think as mothers, we also have this responsibility to kind of, as mothers and as teachers, we have this responsibility to inculcate the value of going local, trying to support what we have, our culture, because no matter like how they kind of produce this very wonderful, materials and products, if we Filipinos don't feel proud of our own, then I mean, yeah, they will produce and they would, other countries might, other countries might, might purchase, might buy, they would love it. But we Filipinos, it should start at home. So Philippines is our home. And kahit na sobrang daming challenges na nangyayari sa bansa natin, especially these days, I mean, every time nakikita ko actually si Ma'am Elaine na she's really a living testimony, for me, yung talagang going local, yung trying to showcase the beauty and the fashion na gawang Pinoy. So as a teacher, hindi man, of course, I don't really have like many Filipino students, but if I have the opportunity to use, my influence in social media, especially social media, let's try to look for ways that in one way or another we can promote this advocacy. Because I think we are global citizens, so we also have ways and means na para masuportahan natin yung advocacy na nakatulad kanina dun sa speaker natin, and a lot actually of advocacy when it comes to sustainability and going local. Napakarami. So let's open our minds, let's try to look for ways kung paano din natin talaga masuportahan itong mga advocacies na ito. And I think social media is really, really, really influential. So let's use that opportunity. And yes, go local tayo. And kahit medyo mahirap mag-order dito actually, hindi ko alam kung ma-order yan sa Taobao or sa Baopals or kung saan man. But if there is an opportunity, then let's choose local. Let's support our own. So as a teacher, sana yun, mapanindigan talaga natin na kahit na nagtuturo tayo sa China, but if there is an opportunity, let's promote our own. So yun lang po. Thank you very much. Hope we could sip some wine with you there sa Consulate. But okay lang. Most likely magkakaroon pa ng maraming chances for that. Thank you very much po, and good afternoon. Good evening na pala.
All right, thank you very much, Teacher Terry. Thank you. Actually, if you're on Instagram, I can share with you all of the companies that I follow that produce local fashion, and they're really, really good quality. And then may comment si Miss Anna, sabi niya, Abaca farmers right now are taken for granted. Sana the government can support them to produce more raw materials. They do not need money, they need proper training kung paano i-cultivate ang mga natural raw materials natin sa Pilipinas. So actually, Miss Anna, we had another speaker who is an advocate for weaves, not the Anthill fabric. I highly encourage that you try to connect with this company because they're also connecting with Abaca suppliers. So I don't know if you know some of the Abaca farmers, then we can help connect the farmers with the company of Anthill. Unfortunately, she was supposed to speak tonight, but we're all ladies here, right? So we know there are certain instances, certain months when we really cannot move. I know you ladies will understand that dilemma. So again, we would really want to thank everyone. I think dito sa Xiamen, medyo ilang araw ng zero, tatlo yata. We're really hoping that things will get better, not just here in Xiamen, but may two pala. Not just here in Xiamen, but in other areas here in Fujian and Jiangxi as well. And I think on that note, we can close, and we really hope that we can see each other again. But until then, ingat po kayo lagi, and thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Thank you. Pwede mo lang i-unmute.